Hi all. Today we are going to deal with three types of piece checkmates. One is the knight checkmate, the bishop checkmate, and a pawn checkmate. So in this I am going to teach you how to do checkmate with a bishop. Bishop goes to c6 and it gives checkmate on a8 king. Here the controlling knight is controlling the b8 square, bishop is controlling the a8 as well as b7, and king is controlling b7 and a7. So if the king is in the corner, we need to control only four squares. A, B, this four squares we need to control. That's it. Okay. So now moving on to the next. In this position, if we want to do a checkmate with bishop, it's simple. The king is already stuck in the corner because of the queen is controlling more squares. Already the queen is controlling three squares of the king. Only one square we need to control, this square where the king is standing. h8. Therefore, the bishop to b2, it's a checkmate. Okay. Now let's move on to the bishop to b2. It's a checkmate. Okay. So let's clear out the annotation. It's about an examples of bishop checkmates. One more. If you wanted to checkmate here to the black king, simple is the bishop on f1 should move to g2 and it's a mate. It's almost the same. Now, this is almost the same of the previous position, the bishop to d4 and it's a checkmate. Okay, now let's move on to the knight checkmates. Knight checkmates are a little bit tricky just because the knight moves in a L shape, a small L shape. So it is like we need to really observe where it is really controlling. Knight is able to control the a8 square where the king is safe, and it is checkmate because the king can't move anywhere safely and he can't really capture the knight because there is no attack on the knight on the c7 square, and the king also can't move to the a7 or b7, and anyhow we all know that we cannot interpose a knight check. Therefore, if a knight is giving check, we need to escape the check only in two ways, either by capturing the attacker, the knight, or move into a safe square. In this position, we cannot really escape the check in either the two ways, by capturing the attacker or move into a safe square. Therefore, it is checkmate. In this position, the same thing. The knight from a5 can deliver checkmate at b6 because the king is already stuck in the corner at a1 by the king and the other knight on b4. Knight to b6 is the mate. In this position also, the king is already stuck in the corner at a8 and a7 square is occupied by his own pawn, and we can call him as a traitor. This pawn we can call him as a traitor. He is a traitor, and my knight can simply go to b6 and deliver checkmate to the white king on a8 where the king is controlling these two squares. Isn't it good? The last piece delivering a checkmate. Now let's move to the next position. In this position also, the queen is controlling the three squares, the a2, b2 and b1, and knight can give checkmate on a1 with coming to b3. Very good. Now let's move to the next. It's also the same. The pawn is controlling the g8 square, the king is controlling the g7 and h7, and knight can control the last square h8 by coming to f7. Okay. Now let's move on to pawn checkmates. Pawn checkmates is a little bit tricky because a pawn can also promote. Should not forget that. Therefore, pawn should promote, and once we promote, we have an options. Okay, queen, rook, bishop, knight. Always don't think we have to promote it to a queen because it's strongest. Sometimes we need to under promote either to rook, bishop, or knight, depending upon the position of the control. Then only it will be a checkmate. But as of now, we are doing checkmate in one. We can choose a queen because it's a check, because queen is giving a check, and it's a mate because the king cannot come to a3 because of the knight. And here, as I said, we can always cannot promote to a queen. In this position, you can choose wisely. If you promote to a queen, it's a stalemate. It's a draw. If you promote to a queen, it's a draw because the king is already controlled everywhere he can move by the king and bishop. He is only safe on this square. If you are able to give check on h3, we have to promote under promotion, not to a queen or a rook. We have to still under promote. Here, even you promote to a bishop, it's a draw. You have to promote it to a knight and it's a checkmate. Because the last square where the king is safe is being controlled by the knight. Now, that's called under promotion. Now, let's move here. Till now we have seen like checkmating, under promotion, promotion. Now we are going to deal with a checkmate, with a direct checkmate with a pawn. By moving the pawn forward, it controls the last square where the king is standing on g8, where the rest of the squares are controlled by the bishop and king. Okay, so now let's move on. In this position, the bishop is controlling the b8 square, the king is controlling the a7 square and b7 square, and the only square that is safe is a8. Now, a pawn can deliver checkmate by going to b7 with the support of the king on a6, and it's a checkmate, and we can also call it as support mate or a pawn mate. Thank you for watching my video. Here we have dealt with a bishop checkmate in one, a knight checkmate in one, and a pawn checkmate in one. So in our next topic, I am going to deal with some complicated positions where we are going to deal with more pieces on the board. So you will get to understand how to checkmate in one really while you are in a game. And these positions are very less pieces. Previously I dealt with like rook, queen, and now we have done with like bishop, knight, pawn. And also we can also give checkmate with king. Definitely a king cannot move beside a king, but he can also give checkmate. We will also do checkmate in ones with king. Besides that, we will also do some complicated positions in the next video. Until then, signing off, Vamsi. Thank you.